Here we have the start of the trip on an inauspicious rainy Monday, I believe. Here's my beautiful wife Lisa seeing us out the door. Zoom in, can we catch a tear? No, not today. GPS unit showing accurate location of my driveway. Ask Mike if he has a toothbrush.
Toothbrush? I never brush my teeth. Yeah, I got one. Where the hell are we going? Do we know?
Yeah, go up to Park Hill. This is where North Ontario starts, just out of Nipigon, or make that Sault Ste. Marie. Here's some cheesy Lake Superior shoreline with a nice rocky slope. Somewhere north of Sault Ste. Marie. Here we are at the Warren Wagner Batricium area, home to a number of G-ranked batriciums. Here we have Mike Oldham hoarding Wasyl's batricium spots. Wasyl's found these, and Mike's hoarding them. See these trees? Around the edges, that's where they reside. Again, here we are at the Angler Settlement Batricium Zone. This is the habitat of the rare, globally rare batriciums, first found by Warren H. Wagner of the University of Michigan. Here we have our prize. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in motion picture, we have a Wagnerian G1 ranked batricium found by Mike Oldham. Note the change for scale, or whatever, change as scale. There was a much larger one, but our celebrated botanist pulled it in his bloodlust. How easy it is to find these? Pretty hard. Here we have an old growth stand of the same batriciums. Clearly, these are a conservation priority. Globally ranked batriciums. Are they protected? I don't think so. Someone dug a big hole right beside them and could have wiped them out. Ontario's batricium habitat. Not only is it beautiful, but it also occurs in beautiful areas. I'll bet you some nice batricium used to be here. Here we have the nice Lycopodium sabinifolium. And again, some beautiful Lycopodiums. Again, the habitat of the batricium, adjacent to a railway. It is tempting to speculate that perhaps it arose here adventively, either via the railway or from another planet. I am scarcely able to control the lust, hence the camera shake, for I have discovered a giant batricium. Batricium with the newlywed hand for scale. Another batricium. Perhaps. Too bad only Warren knows. Likely new to video. And his brother. Here is another stand of young poplar in the sand between two tire tracks. It supports we saw about 15-20 of these batriciums. Kind of strange habitat. Oh, some beautiful orchids. Coralloides trifida, discovered by Michael J. Oldham. Angler Settlement, Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Club Trail, prime globally ranked batricium habitat, environmental assessment, I don't think so. Here we are at the Thunder Bay Fire Center, busy scene of activity. Going up Rice, Arrow Lake, unexplored territory. So here we are, going up Rice, Arrow Lake, unexplored territory. To go. So here we are at the west end of Arrow Lake. Gonna go up the west side, take the back way and get onto these beauty cliffs. Just look at them. They're so cliffy. Cliffy with the mega talus. Here we are at the junction of Rose Lake and Arrow Lake, right on the Duluth or Minnesota-Ontario border. There's Rose Lake with the Rose River that joins Arrow Lake. Up here on the edge of the cliff, there's Arrow Lake. And a nice scan of the open woodland rim with the Mike Oldham back there. Here's the outlet again, the Arrow Lake into Rose Lake. Potentilla tridentata, one of the typical cliff rim plants. One of those wacky Poa glaucantha things. Some more cliffs on the other side of Arrow Lake. They're kind of interesting. There's Mike Oldham showing us his good side. Woes any plant in his path. Again, more of the open cliff rim at Arrow Lake. Fairly extensive in places, but alas, lacking in some of the Fowl Lake specialties. Some Artemisia caudata up here on the cliff. The open cliff edges also provide open space for common juniper. Some more beautiful scenery. Yikes! Here is what we think to be Jabacana. Here we have Heuchera richardsonii in flower. Some super hot cliff. Here are some more of the ferns that are found at the bottom, the base of the cliff near the talus. Dropterus fragrans with the characteristic dead stalks at its base. There we got some other thing, I don't know what it is. Lots of nice lichens. And yes, here we have it, folks. Pellia glabella. Rare in northern Ontario. Just look at that. Here's some more lovely Pellia glabella with some Xanthoria elegans lichen beside it. Where is this gruesome place? Stanley Hill Cemetery. Here we have the field to the east of the cemetery, which contains a number of rare prairie elements. Let's go over there. So here's the large pasture that contains a number of prairie species of fescue grasslands. This is one of the most interesting. Hall's fescue, Festuca hallii, Festuca altaica, subspecies hallii. Call it what you will, those are the thin, wiry main leaves. And some more Festuca hallii in flower. Here we have Carex phoenia, another sort of prairie sedge species. Another one of the prairie species, Lithospermum canescens. Not quite in flower yet, Lathyrus venenosus. Commandra umbellata. This small patch is the main patch of Festuca hallii in the pasture. Another nice stand of Festuca hallii. See the wonders of trick photography. Imagine yourself standing in a nice fescue prairie. This is how it was, except it was better. Here we have Lathyrus venenosus just beginning to flower. Critters. There's Oldham, way up there.
Wasyl franklinii in flower.
Excellent. Here we have a disturbed area in the pasture. Acting on a hunch, Mike checked it out because he thought it would grow in, because it likes roadsides, maybe it would be in disturbed areas. Lo and behold, there's the little fellas. Lathyrus ochroleucus. Here we have a not yet ready to flower Cercium flodmanii, characteristic white undersurface. Here we have in an early stage of development Artemisia ludoviciana. Here we've lucked out and spotted some almost flowering flodmanii. Flodman's thistle. Beautiful. How close can we go? For those of you that can't get enough of flodman's thistle, I'm taking another shot. Look at that beauty. Some more Artemisia ludoviciana. We are seeing yet more Lathyrus venenosus because try as we may, we can't find the decent Cercium drumondii. Here's the NHIC mobile. Whoops! Long load. Wait a minute, what's that? Hey, that wasn't there before. Dawn, did you do that? Yet another native member of the pea family found at Stanley, Vicky americana. Here we have a nice stand of Lithospermum canescens intermixed with Kentucky bluegrass and Artemisia ludoviciana. You know, there's quite a bit of Lithospermum canescens here. Goes off. Some all in there. I tell you, the action never stops. This is some of the panorama shots of the Stanley and adjacent areas. Prairie. Some Antinarian neglecta, probably a typical species of these open prairies in northwestern Ontario. Ladies and gentlemen, never before on film, we have Stipa comata. Stanley Hill Prairie, discovered by M.J. Oldham. This is the Stipa comata meadow, dominated by Stipa comata with Helianthus rigidus, Lithospermum canescens, and probably some Festuca trachyphylla, the cheesy weed of this site. Stipa comata again. And here's an Aravis that we don't know exactly what it is. Also the fern ally, Selaginella rupestris. Again, another shot. Lithospermum canescens and Artemisia ludoviciana. Here's a fairly dense patch of Cercium flodmanii. Another shot. Showing the prairie area, open grown jack pines. Lithospermum canescens, A plant Don Sutherland has never seen. What's that? Do you know now? Look at that. New growth in balsam fir. Zoom in. Wow. Another common element of the Northwest Ontario prairies, prickly rose, Rosa sicularis. It's a virtual tour, walking through the bush, trying to get out. Anyone experienced in walking in the bush knows there's all sticks and leaves in the way. But if you persevere, you keep trying, you're gonna end up sooner or later dead. Dead, dead, that's all. Here it is, folks. Entrance to world famous Stanley Hill Cemetery. Look. You heard that, folks. Today, Friday, 28th of June.
1996.
History's being made. We're at the beautiful Cavern Lake. Here's some of the nice talus slope action. We've come, this is our first big cliff that we came to. And we're just checking out the shore. And Mike spotted this inconspicuous composite. And this thing is called what?
Arnica gianopapa.
Gianopapa. Very important. More of Cavern Lake. Promising. Pretty big cliffs. Just another day on the job for NHIC. Checking out Cavern Lake Canyon and area. As you can see, it's pretty disgusting habitat. See if we can find Mike Oldham somewhere down there. There he is. What you looking for? What you looking for? In flower? Is it in flower? Pretty good sound. We don't need our IPCDs here even. This is all the stuff in between me and Mike. here near the very top of the cavern lake. See, it's quite the extensive talus field. The other side of the canyon. And I guess Mike Oldham's somewhere down there. Hey Mike, smile for the camera. Smile for the camera. Here's a neat cedar I found growing out of the side of the cliff. I suspect it's old growth. I can't go back anymore because it's in a bad spot. But judging by how fat that trunk is, and the spiral twist, which has been said to be characteristic of old growth post oak in Arkansas or something, I bet you if someone aged that, that'd be pretty interesting for northern Ontario. Just for scale, that's about 2 feet in diameter right there. Again, more at Cavern Lakes. Another possible old growth cedar, showing a lot of dead branches, thick stem, pseudo-Krumholtz appearance. Down there, we're in the Algific Valley bottom. Then there's a little bit of blockage with some talus. Some cliff action. Should be an Oldham somewhere up there. There he is. Sorry about that. So I'm standing in the valley bottom. Some large boulders. Some dry stuff. Here we see some reindeer lichen. Some caladinas. And then down here in some of the hollows we get this moss action. And these are these cool sites on the bottom of the valley. In places they're continuous, elsewhere they're patchy. Here's an area I just walked in. Right there, over that moss, I just got such a refreshing blast of cold air rising straight from the ground. It's like air conditioner was under there. What a wonderful place to botanize in the heat of July, or June that is. Here we have some large hay-scented fern. Dropterus fragrans, just growing in the boulders. Pardon my stomach. Here's more algific action. We've been seeing Gymnocarpium jessoense in full bloom, or whatever, fully expanded. And here in the algific areas, there's still, you could see, I don't know if you can make that out in the camera, it's that species, and it hasn't even expanded yet. That's some fragrant fern, but right above it is some an expanded Gymnocarpium jessoense. Let's just follow the ground a bit. There we've got some snow, ice. Further to the algific story, here's a birch that's just started, well, it hasn't fully expanded its leaves yet. That one is standing over a waft of cold air that's blowing into my face. Otherwise, most of the tree is done. But still, parts of it hanging over that cold draft. It's yet to fully open. Here's some stalks of Calamagrostis canadensis. End of June. It's barely started to grow here. Just little 1 or 2 or 3 inch long bits of green. Otherwise, not ready. Here we have my Telenuta. Again, sort of last year's leaves. Really hasn't started to grow here yet. The little green grass beside it, I think, is more Calamagrostis canadensis. Just starting. End of June. More end of June stuff. This is a pyrola. In the sunny spots, it's in bud, or there's a few that were in flower. Here it's still last year's flowering stalks and last year's leaves. Here we have it, folks. A tick in northwest Ontario. A colder than normal microclimate. Well, maybe Mike got it from the cliff, but all my life here, nobody ever got ticks. And here Mike has 2 in one day. I think it's time he started changing his deodorant or something. Here Mike has found some tiny plant. Maybe a Cerastium, Sagana. He doesn't know, and of course I don't, that's for sure. Pretty small though. Here in this tangled mat, it was obviously wet earlier on in the summer, we have this little violet. Mike thinks it's probably Viola epipsala. Here's another nice shot of this violet that we've got down here. And now our big violet pan. One of the things we've been dreading is to collect any Woodsy alvensis. Wherever we go, that's all we see, but I think Mike has finally found a good one. What do you think this was? Woodsy
Alpina.
Alpine, I don't know if we can get in close enough. See the sort of non-scaly stems. Again, Woodsy Alpina. Here we have some white admirals hanging around. Here we have some species of Salix. Not exactly sure what it is, but it is exhibiting the mat-like form of growth, sort of like an Arctic willow would. Here again, at the bottom of the Algific Valley floor, we have a plant which is a pleasure to pronounce. Arnica longcophila, subspecies Chianopapa. Not quite in flower yet, though we saw it earlier in flower on the cliff at Cavern Lake. An Algific Valley bottom. True pleasure to botanize on a hot July day, special after the scorcher we had yesterday at Gunflint Lake, showing the unique moss-covered floor with the cold microclimate. What a true pleasure. Here's this immature dark-flowered sedge. I don't know what it is. Nice dark scales designed to soak up heat. Ooh, sedge base. Actually, Mike mentioned a species earlier. The dragonfly just landed on my neck. You can't quite see it from here, but I think it's Carex consona. Here, on a local warm spot on a rocky boulder, we have some of the pyrola. whatever it is in flower. Here's another group of arnicas in this kind of warmer area, a little more advanced. Slow zoom, just like my wife told me to. Oh, some lovely Cladina uncialis, showing its cloud-like growth form. And we take you down into a crack. Yes, our friend the ice. Look, there's my boot. Snow. It's almost July. Here's a nice patch of Polygonum viviparum. That is Polygonum viviparum, interspersed with the pyrola at the bottom of the valley. Here we have some encrusted saxifrage, Saxifraga azune, also in the algific areas. Here, against the backdrop which affords some warming effects, we have some Polygonum viviparum almost in flower. You don't see that too often. Seeing is believing, folks. This is the largest Dryopteris fragrans that I've ever seen. These things are huge. This thing is huge. Here we have a nice algific slope again. Moss covered. Beautiful stand of Polygonum viviparum. Look at those little beauties. And its location beside one of those algific holes. Also located just above the hole. Hopefully we can zoom into it. Nice and slow. Whoops. Woodsia alpina. Long in flower in northwest Ontario, Ledum greenlandicum, Labrador tea. Also located beside the hole, slowing down things considerably. Mike, the eagle-eyed botanist, spotted Hedysarum alpinum. We are somewhat perplexed as it is too high for us to get up there without getting like a 20-foot long stick. There's some more. Well, here we are, the mouth of the famous cave at Cavern Lake. There's an incredible blast of cold air coming out here. I hope the video is picking up the condensation of the air as it leaves the cave. I'm standing here in a blast of air conditioning, ultra air conditioning. This is the interior of the cave. This is a cave that has a large bat population. Here's some ice that's still at the bottom of the cave. Some more Cryptogramma stellari at the mouth of the cave. Some more cave shots. I just farted, contributed to the cave environment. Sorry, camera's having trouble focusing. Yet more Cryptogramma. And that's Cavern Lake from the mouth of the cave. Gee, I think I need a raise. Here's world famous botanist Michael J. Oldham returning from the cliff top where he had beat to death a Hedysarum alpinum to get a specimen. I've done the same, and we will compare whose beaded remnants are the better specimen. I suspect he'd be hard pressed in this case to have a better one than the one that the community college collected. Here's Mike utilizing algific cooling. We came here because we were interested in the ecology, not has nothing to do with coolness. Some more Gymnocarpium jesuensi. The battleship. Here we are at South Fowl, showing the bonus cliff, holding the mega rares of the South Fowl area. Here's South Fowl using the technical backlight feature. So here we have the cliffs at South Fowl. We'll do the big zoom, see if we can score some Oxytropus.
Well, you always got a second career for you there, Wasyl.
The commentaries are great.
Here we have the Thunder Bay and Peterborough intelligentsia making their way up the path.
Maybe fairly thin walls relative to other species.
Here we have, for the first time on video, Xeranthica. Nice slow zoom, just like my wife tells me.
No. There's Carrick's backyard.
We don't get on flexibility.
Possibly new for Thunder Bay District, Polygonum pubescens. Make that Polygonatum pubescens. Here's the fruit, the underside, hand for scale. Well, I don't know if this will come out, but there's some Cardamine parviflora there. Here's a virtual trip to the cliffs at South Fowl. Experience it in your home, bug-free, with the brewski or a martini ski. Watch Oldham as he picks his way through the forest with uncanny ability, similar to that of Billy Two Rivers from Forest Rangers. Here we are, the open cliff rim at South Fowl. The boys have found some Oxytropus viscida. See if I can see it with the mega zoom. That's it.
You guys shouldn't have told Wasyl that.
Here we have Al Harris,
On top of a cliff, anyways.
one of the directors of Northern Bioscience, observing the rare plant, Oxytropus viscida. Here we have the Western Cordilleran Disjunct Erebus holbolii. As Michael J. Oldham was pointing out here, the characteristic gray-blue glaucous rosettes.
We've seen it here before.
Yeah.
Also, for the first time on film, lovely Carex supina. Here it is, all in flower. Hopefully it's focused on those nice Perigenia. Selaginella rupestris, characteristic plant of open rock barrens. More Oxytropis viscida. Here's some of the prime open cliff rim habitat at South Fowl. Panorama zoom scan. Nice open ledges loaded with plants such as Carex supina, Calamagrostis purpurascens, Carex xerantheca, Oxytropis viscida. Here we have a nice little clump of Calamagrostis purpurascens, major disjunct. Another one of the rare disjuncts up here at South Fowl, Moringia macrophylla. Just past flowering, the petals are starting to wither. This is found more on the northern side in more shaded areas under the trees. Oh my lord, hold on to your scotch. It's a batrick, a non-globally rare one. Batricium matricopolium, found by MJO. Here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Oxytropis viscida, still in flower, discovered by Robert Foster, formerly with the NHIC, now a director also with Northern Bioscience. Here we have Rob Foster, risking life and limb. It seems he's dropped a penny. Here we have a beautiful wetland at the this end of South Fowl. Some beautiful patterns exhibited by Sparganium species. Some nice Heuchera richardsonii at the edge of the cliff. The cliffs in the South Fowl area are well known for the amounts of loose change that can be found. Sometimes upwards of $1, $1.50 can be found in one outing. Perhaps today is such a lucky day. Here's a nice stand of Heuchera richardsonii out on the ledge with some Oxytropis. Here again is some Carex xerantheca.
Home videos there, wasn't
A rock or something on there.
it? Yeah. Part of the waterway.
Here we have some nice Carex praticula. Here we have a nice Draba arabescens.
Probably a nest on this lake. I don't remember seeing one here, but there always seem to be eagles every time I'm here.
Here we have Rob Foster at the site of a purported hibernaculum. Site where he's repeatedly seen numerous snakes. Let's see if we can find the one here today. Here's the herpetofauna in question. Thamnophilus sertalis.
Can't kick that far. I tried to kick him over,
We've brought Michael A.J. Oldham
To authenticate
to authenticate the
identity of this unknown surface. One of these cliffs there was a big paper wasp nest too, a big one that was big. They climbed over and they're gonna go back.
Plus we found another one on the cliff there.
The snake doesn't run away because he knows Mike Oldham is his friend. Here today we're at North Wasyl. It's open red pine forest.